Alright. Hello. Hello. My name is Average Dude Music Reviews. I go by the name Armando. I'm here with Kaylee Lauren, who has a new single in the works and is premiering very soon. Um, Kaylee, do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, guys. My name is Kaylee Lauren. I'm a singer songwriter in LA. I have a few singles out already on streaming platforms with over 2 million streams. Yeah, I write like pop, indie pop, dark pop music. If you listen to Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, Madison Beer, Nessa Barrett, I think you'd love my music. And Killer in Disguise is my new single. I haven't announced the release date yet, but it's coming out soon.
All right. So I've been reading a couple of your interviews. You've previously said that you started singing around the age of 15, and you
Yeah.
started singing at 16.
I
Um,
started releasing music at 16, yeah.
at 16. Okay, so you were singing way before that then.
Yeah, since I was a little kid.
Okay, so was music like a really big thing in your family, or was it something that you just found love for ever since you were a kid?
I think I've always been surrounded by music. My grandparents are very like into oldies, 60s music, and I've always loved singing since I was a little kid. I was into musical theater and I was the lead role in Annie when I was like 5. So yeah, you could catch me singing around the house all day, every day when I was growing up. So definitely a big part of my life.
Okay. Um, and so you just mentioned that your grandparents listened to a lot of oldies, specifically seems like music from the 60s and 70s. How has that music actually influenced the music that you've been creating and you will continue to create?
Yeah, so my new single, Killer in Disguise, definitely has some 60s sounds and influences in it. I think just the way that the songwriting was in the 60s and the melodic music, the way the melodies were formed, I mean, it's just so inspiring to me and so authentic. And I think I take inspiration from oldies all the time with all my music.
Okay. Is there like a specific oldies artist that you kind of relate to a little bit more than most?
Wow, I think I've always loved Elvis, Leslie Gore, and definitely, let's see, I love ABBA. They're my favorite ever, and
Doesn't
I'm
love ABBA.
right, yeah.
All right, and then how do those influences um, differ from the more modern influences in your music, such as like Chapel Roan, Gracie Abrams, Lana Del Rey, Madison Beer, um, those artists?
Yeah, I definitely can hear 60s influences in all of those artists you just mentioned, especially like Chapel Roan, Madison Beer, Lana Del Rey. I mean, Madison Beer covered Showed Me by the Turtles on her new album, and Lana does I think one of the Everly Brothers songs or something. But yeah, I definitely hear it coming back into new music now with like Steven Sanchez, Leve, like those kind of artists. So it's really cool to see that influence gaining popularity now in today's age again because I'm so into it and I would love to create more music that sounds like the 60s. So yeah.
Okay. And then when you started out, because you've categorized your genre of your style of music as dark pop, but it seems like earlier your first couple singles probably catered more towards pop than anything else. What created that shift into okay, I'm gonna go into more a dark pop genre?
Yeah, definitely. I think Nessa Barrett and Madison Beer, their debut albums definitely like shifted that for me. I was like, whoa, like what is this sound? I really like it. And I kind of explored and tried new things in the studio. And then I wrote Not Enough, which was my very first like dark pop song. and my very first hit song. So I definitely figured that a lot of my fans loved that style of writing and music with my sound. So definitely Intrusive Thoughts has been inspired by dark pop, and hopefully more songs to come will be heavily influenced by dark pop and 60s combined.
Mm. That that sounds like it kind of seems like you're kind of gearing towards moving towards creating an EP or an album in that sense, since you're kind of saying, hey, since that seems like the genre that you're going to be going to towards, it seems like you're going to probably have a more cohesive uh, album down the line, possibly EP. That's the idea.
Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Okay, so that's something the fans are going to be looking for, I'm guessing. Hopefully in the near future. Um, and for this new song, what was the creative process like?
I wrote this song on my piano in my bedroom or in my apartment, and I took it into the studio and I was like, these are the inspirations, definitely heavy on the Elvis, Leslie Gore, the 60s music, even Madison Beer and like Lana Del Rey, as they are also heavily influenced by 60s, like we mentioned. And we kind of just created this sound that felt really like organic instruments, like the drums and the guitar. Like my producer Marky pulled out the guitar and played it, I believe, for that record. So it wasn't as much as like electronic stuff,
Mhm.
wasn't as many samples. It was more like organic instruments, which is really like cool and sounded very authentic in 60s. And yeah, this song I think I finished writing it when I was like in a dog park or something, and I was just like,
Oh, no.
yeah, I was like going through it at the dog park.
Well, I mean, dogs have a natural energy for healing, so
Yeah, I was like,
maybe that was the perfect place.
what if I call it Killer in Disguise at the dog park? And I was like, okay, I don't know.
The Killer the Disguise at the dog park. Eh,
Maybe we'll shoot the
has a
mis
weird balance to it, but it could have
maybe
worked.
we'll shoot the music video at the dog park.
Hey, that'd be quite exciting to do. Having dogs
Yeah.
running around and having an interaction with dogs, trying to help out uh, with that healing as well.
Yeah.
Um, so it seemed so. Sorry, for this particular song and the songs prior, did you notice that there was improvements in your songwriting, in the creative process, as well as like creating the melodies, the instrumentation? What are the improvements that you've seen like over time up to this point with this new single?
For sure. There's definitely been growth in every aspect of my songwriting, the creating the melodies, the production even. I think I've gotten a lot more comfortable sitting in the sessions and giving my input and sitting there with my producer with the
Mhm.
computer and like explaining what I'm hearing in my head and being able to like say that out loud better and using musical terms definitely. I think I've learned so much about the music theory as well, like what makes a hit song, you know, the AABA methods, like all that
Mm.
stuff. I've definitely learned so much and have learned to also take inspiration from hit songs and not to be so afraid of copying anyone, but to take inspiration and like learn and study almost like I am going to school for music like in college, and I've learned so much about how hit songs just the chorus builds up and the pre-chorus and all that. So definitely I've done a lot of work to study and research about it, which is cool. I
So
think it paid off.
it seems like it's all paying off. It seems like you're going for specifically just music in college, or
Music
like music
business,
business. Okay,
music.
so to understand the industry and how all that works,
Yeah.
how's that helped out as well in your current career?
I mean, it's brought so many connections to my life. I've met so many amazing professors, friends, students. music industry people, managers. It's just such a cool experience, and I've learned so much from only 18 years old that some people in my class are learning just now in their life, and they're like way further ahead in life than me. And I'm just so grateful that I decided to not go the traditional route of like becoming a lawyer or a doctor, but learning about like what I'm really interested in. And I always inspire my friends to go after what they love too in school.
All right. Uh, for your inspiration for music, what was that turning point? What was that one catalyst that, okay, you know what, I'm going to do music?
Yeah. In 2020, I was kind of trying to become an influencer. Like I had like 50,000 followers on TikTok, and I was doing brand deals and like dancing videos and like PR stuff, like
Mhm.
totally music. And then I posted a cover. I think it was, I forgot what song it was, but it was like, Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. I don't remember what song that's called, but that went viral. And then, like, yeah, I got like a couple 100,000 views. And then I was like, okay, like maybe this could be something. And then I created a new TikTok account to see maybe the video just did well because people were already following me. And then I started posting covers on this brand new account. It started blowing up as well. And I was like, okay, like people seem to like my voice. And at the time, I was only doing covers. Then I started writing, and I was like, okay, like this sounds good. Like maybe I could pursue this. And I went in the studio and had people believe in me. And my producer believed in my music and my talent and worked with me. And yeah,
And ever since then, you're the ship is sailing to the seas of music.
yeah.
So so a lot of the inspirations that you have seem to be a lot in the pop realm, um and 60s, 70s. It seems when you mentioned Elvis, it seemed to be that it is pop, but it is also slightly rock. Do you have any other influences that aren't necessarily pop that you do listen to, or um, artists now that might be in the rock realm or hip hop, that you might take inspiration from, that maybe down the line you might be thinking, oh, maybe I'll take some of this?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always interested in, I feel like I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, and I definitely take inspiration from rock, even rap sometimes. Like there's some cool melodies in 21 Savage songs.
Hmm.
Like I'm definitely always taking inspiration from different genres. I think country as well. Like just I guess I places and sounds I would never think I would listen to or take inspiration from, but I definitely have. So that's cool.
Okay. And so, are there plans down the road to possibly not quite necessarily leave the dark pop, but bring in like maybe some heavier rock elements, maybe, or bridge into a different genre briefly?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely gotten comments about trying rock styles and like different sounds. People will comment, like they'll be like, "Oh, like your voice would sound perfect as like a rock song." And I'm like, "Okay, interesting." Like, yeah. I definitely want to try new things in the studio always, I am still developing my sound, so who knows? Maybe rock is what's gonna, do it.
Okay. Have so how much of rock have you listened to, and do you tend to listen to it in the sense of like oldies or more modern? What are some favorite rock artists? What are some of your also favorite pop artists as well?
I feel like as far as rock artists or like rock music, I grew up with my uncle in the car just like listening to like heavy metal rock. Like they would listen to like, yeah. So I've
Okay.
been exposed to many different sounds. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite rock artist. I think they're all pretty cool. As far as pop artists, I think Taylor Swift right now is my favorite. Just
Okay.
so inspiring, and her work ethic, her business strategies, her music, her songwriting, her sound, all that. her story even. Very inspiring, and her tour and all that.
And so, as a singer songwriter, writing, do you take your writing influences? Are they all usually how do you come about creating the lyrics for your songs? Do you read poems, read books? Is it personal events, introspection?
I believe personal events mostly. I mean, I always write songs based off of something I'm experiencing truly and like fully. Like, it's very hard for me to write a song about something that I'm not feeling, or trying to write a happy song when I'm not, or vice versa. Trying to write like a sad song when I'm happy. Like,
Mhm.
it's kind of difficult for me to not be like fully invested in the way I feel and writing about that. So, yeah, songwriting is definitely a therapeutic process for me, and I'm just so lucky to have it a part of my music and my life, because it's so healing, and at the same time healing other people around the world, which is cool. And yeah, we could just all feel the same thing together.
Yeah, and then many people can take different. You might have a specific intention with your song, like you might have a specific message, but somebody might end up interpreting it that slightly different way,
Yeah,
and even then, that'll be healing as well.
of course.
And for when you're making the music, when you have a specific intention, um, do you ever think that you want the audience to know the specific intention beforehand, or would you like them to try to figure it out on their own?
I think leaving music up to interpretation is the coolest thing ever, because I feel like sometimes I write very specifically, but at the same time, I try to keep it up to interpretation for my audience. So honestly, I would just love them to take it and experience the song through their own lenses and through their own experiences of life and through their own relationships and relating to their own experiences, I guess. I don't think I would want anyone to only like listen to it and know that it's like about this specific thing, and like it might detach the meaning from the song
Mm,
or how they feel about it, you know?
very much so. Um, and do you have for your music? Are there any outer influences that doesn't necessarily pertain to um, music itself, like or poems, such as sometimes move how you feel? Do you sometimes get inspiration from like feeling when you're reading a book, movies, things like that as well?
Definitely. Even in conversations, if someone says something interesting, I'm like, okay, that could be a song title, that could be a lyric, that could be a whole song.
Okay.
Um, yeah, my brain is always switched on music mode, and like, how could I turn this into a song? How could I make a video about this? Why is this working on TikTok? Let me figure it out. So, yeah, definitely always thinking about new ways to interpret things and write about it and use it in my creative process.
All right. Uh, in your creative process, how would you? I know there have been artists that say to work and write in the best of times and also during the worst of times, such as like you needing to write. Some people need to write every day or try to figure out a song every day. For your creative process, is it an everyday thing? Do you try to write every day, or is it a slow build? Like maybe you'll take 2 days off from writing.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends. Sometimes I'm like really like, if I had just written like a hit song in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write 10 more. I'm on a, you know,
A high.
mood. Yeah, but sometimes I don't force myself to write when I'm not feeling like an idea or an inspiration. And I know maybe most people wouldn't agree with that, but I'm the type of person that gets very like overwhelmed easily, and I don't want to push myself in a place to write something when that's my passion, and I don't want to force myself to kind of create a song, even if that song might change my life, even though I'm not feeling it.
Mhm.
I do want to write way more, and that is definitely something I'm going to challenge myself with this summer and the next few months. But I typically write mostly when I have like a really good idea or when I have like a really cool lyric and I just all of a sudden write like a whole song. Kind of just happens in waves, I guess.
Okay. So it ebbs and flows. It's not it's not always consistent in a straight line. There are going to be breaks in between. And I
Yeah.
guess it's necessary to do that from time to time. All right. So the newest single you've said, "Killer in Disguise." Um, is there a specific meaning that you want to like maybe hint at so the fans kind of know what they might expect, or do you want to just leave it up to the air until it comes out?
I think I want to leave it until it comes out because it's such a new sound for me. I don't know if you've heard the song, but
I did.
yeah,
It was
it's
I was very impressed. It was I've been listening to it all day. I've been listening actually since I've heard it. Like maybe I'll mention this. I'll mention something to you off the air, so the fans can be like, "Ooh, something's cool about this song."
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Um, so bigger things are in the works. Um, are you planning on any tours hopefully in the future?
Hopefully, yes, hopefully soon. I know my fans have been asking and wanting. I'm hopefully doing a tour this summer, hopefully.
All right. Hopeful for the fans to see you live, play all your songs, your greatest hits, which are all of them.
Thank
And
you.
so at that point, it seems like a lot of the upcoming things that the fans can expect are is possible tour, the new single that's dropping, what uh and possibly in the near future an EP or an album.
And merch coming
And
soon.
merch. All right. So we that's another thing that we have to look forward to.
Yeah.
Any hints as to what merch will be available?
Definitely heavy on the Angels like fan base name that we've created amongst ourselves. Um, yeah, it's gonna be very like honestly really cute merch. It's to me like a clothing line I'm designing because it's like
Ooh,
things I would wear myself and yeah, heavy on the angels, so stay tuned. Angel numbers, angels, Kaylee's angels, stuff like that. Yeah.
oh wow. Uh all right. And with that, it was great talking to you, Kaylee. Um so fans, you have so many things to look forward to. Merch, a new single coming out in the near future, a tour, and then in the possibly after that, EP or an album coming out. This
Yep.
has been Average Dude Music Reviews. Thank you, Kaylee. What do you want to say to your fans?
I love you, angels. Thank you for watching.
All right. And with that, it was great to meet you. It was great to have this talk. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was
No
a blessing.
worries. This was a great time. We look forward to hearing the all the music they create in the near future and beyond.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All righty. Stop this recording.